know if you remember how we met. It was actually at Andy's Jazz Club when you were running that jam session. Dennis one time.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so I went there with Dennis, and we left for the session. We went to B. John's and got a bunch of desserts.
Okay.
But then I came back, and the timing was good because you were back in the building, and we ended up playing one together.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
I was super, I was scared. I was a freshman at DePaul. I just moved here. But Dennis doesn't, or I never told you this, but Dennis actually was on the phone with you after in the car. And I couldn't believe it, but you were calling him, telling him how good you thought it was playing with me.
Good.
And then we were gonna do a gig later, but it got canceled from the pandemic.
Right.
But that was a real pivotal moment for me.
Good. Good.
But yeah, just doing that project, how much of an honor it was to have some older musicians on there.
What?
Well, you played with Miles, with Blakey, Sonny Rollins. That was obviously a big thing for you, learning from the elders. So maybe, I'd be curious to hear how those experiences were for you and how you feel about that form of education in the music.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that is it should be the primary form of education. It has been supplanted by institutionalized education, as you know, which is a fine thing. I mean, I came up in both. At the time that I was getting ready to go to school, 78, jazz education was just becoming a thing. And it had been around for a few years, but it was not the norm. And there were only like a handful of schools that I had an opportunity to apply to, and I only applied to really one.
Yeah, Berkeley,
yeah. So, but I got my, like I cut my teeth in the venues playing with people, and that was the best way. And even when I got to college, I was playing with professors and stuff like that. So, there's nothing that is more important than that. You know that.
Definitely wanted to showcase that. Was kind of how I was thinking about music right now, how I wanted to be, seen playing with these musicians who were teaching me at the same time. I mean, that recording process was only 2 days, but I learned so much. I'm sure you remember, like, when we got in there, it was hectic, and we were playing, and you were saying on the mic, I'm not dancing. We got to get in there. And just,
Was I? I don't remember on half of this stuff.
Oh, exactly. But, just having someone saying that with that experience and just soaking so much up from the playing was the main thing. I mean, what was that process like for you? Because for me, I felt like when I went in there, everybody was just as passionate as I was. Yeah. Which felt great because it was my project.
Well, I mean, any opportunity that I have to make music is of high value to me. Yeah. So, at the place I'm at now, the age and the experience or whatever, and whatever situation I'm in, it allows me to be a little bit more discerning about what situations I allow I put myself in. Right. So I really only do so when I have some kind of expectation that it's going to be at a certain level. Yeah. So I knew it was going to be at a certain level, and then at that point, I'm just like everybody else. I'm just like you. I hope I play well. I hope this comes out good, you know. And any way that I know that I can encourage that, or is where the suggestions come from. That's where that comes from, because I want a musical situation to be the best it can be for everyone. And then I know if it's that for everyone, it's going to be fine for me. I remember doing records with elders and feeling this support and the encouragement and the love and the importance focused on the music and on me, even though it was my project, you know.
Right.
It felt like it was theirs, and they wanted it to be. So, I mean, I understand. I've experienced that as well.
Yeah, for people out there who don't know, you know, Dennis Carroll was on the record, composer of a lot of the tunes, and Bobby and Dennis played in a trio for what, 30 plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, such a
still going.
Yeah, strong relationship in jazz, such a definitive band for a guitar trio setting, you know. And he was on the record. Greg Ward was on the record. You've worked with him in the past, but you've not worked with him on a record.
No, this is the first recording we've done together.
Yeah, what was it like playing with Greg in that sitting? What were playing on some of those compositions like? Because I know it was different than stuff you might normally do with Dennis.
You know, I don't look at music like, oh, this or that, and then, you know, it's not like that. Yeah. Greg is a highest caliber, and he just happens to live in Chicago. So I see that as a plus, you know what I mean? Like, so it was really, really fun. Yeah. It's nice to hear our voices together.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm super excited to be putting out this music and showing that just how much I was learning from you guys in that process. And, you know, hopefully there'll be more to come ahead.
Yeah, I hope so.
Do you want to leave us with like a story from the Elders, maybe a recording?
The record I was talking about that I did with Elders, who are all gone. They've all gone on. But it was a record, and I was not young. I was. I gotta think about this now. Oh no, I was 40. Yeah, so, you know, relative to what, I don't know, to you, I was old, but I hired Ronnie Cuber, who I've known for a long time, and he was like kind of helped me along when I was 19 and kind of helped me throughout my career, and we worked together throughout my career, and so he helped assemble the guys. You know, I knew Lonnie Smith a little bit. We worked a little bit together, so I was okay. So I called him, and then he suggested Idris Muhammad, and so, you know, he called, Lonnie called Idris, and so, you know, here I've got one guy that was on the first jazz record I'd ever listened to, Idris, and then Ronnie and Lonnie, who were on like one of my idols record, you know, and George Benson Cookbook, right? So I'm in heaven, like just the thought of it. So, you know, I'd written a little music, and then we did some other tunes. I had some arrangements and stuff, and just the love that they showed. We had a funny incident though. Someone suggested lunch, somebody from the studio, and Ronnie was hungry, and so he's like, and so we finished the take, and Ronnie's like, okay, let's go get lunch, and we're like talking about starting another take, but he's adamant about eating, right? So Lonnie and Idris, and mainly Idris, was like, man, forget him, man. You go eat lunch. Like, we're gonna take through. You know, you got another tune? What? You got a trio tune we can do? You know? And he's like, yeah. And so we did this ballad. He's like, no, man, we gotta make this record on you, man. Let him go. And I just thought that was hilarious. Like, you know, and so supportive. You know, super supportive of those guys to just like forego lunch. I guess they ate later, but
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
kind of weird.
Well, cool.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a part of the record.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Really cherished that playing experience. And we played last night at the piano. That was amazing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully there'll be more to come.
Yeah, I'm sure there will.
Yeah.
All right.
Buy the record. Buy his too.